John felt the back of his neck flush. It's an old Christmas custom. He paused, rubbing the buzzing neck. Get a grip, John. Well, you see that bit of greenery over the beds? Yes, I see it now. She leaned forward to get a better look. Her fragrance lightly caressed him. John felt very warm. Her lips were soft and red. It's called mistletoe. You hang it around at Christmas time, usually over a seat or a doorway. If you get caught under it, someone could get you a kiss. John hoped he didn't sound too embarrassed. He gave a furtive glance to the office to see if there was any. No, none seen in evidence. Good. Let's not risk a diplomatic incident. 1 year too late! John glanced back at her as she gazed out. She turned and met his eyes, still trying to understand. Her green eyes took his breath away. Then again, the risk might be worth it. Stop it, John! No, don't stop! Don't stop! Keep going, man! She might be your friend, but she's still the ambassador of Myanmar. Soon to be the Mrs. Sheridan. Is it a very old custom? Delenn asked, still curious. Very. It predates Christianity, if I remember right. It used to be a fertility charm. When Christianity assorted a winter holiday, it became a variation on the kiss of peace. She was so close to him now. All he had to do was lean forward and his lips would be touching hers, feeling their warmth. He lost himself in that redness, that softness, that beauty. Just one gentle touch to taste away the dark. So, this was not always a Christian holiday? She looked confused. John pulled it back a bit. What the hell am I doing? No. All human cultures had a winter holiday of some sort that was sort of thumbing your nose at the darkness. A triumph of light. She smiled, pleased. Yes. Now, Christmas basically stands for them all, except Hanukkah, which is on a separate calendar. John got to his feet with a grin. We could see everything, but now we can't hear the music. But I think I can find something. John looked around his desk and searched through his crystals. He listened to holiday music in his office earlier that day. It hadn't looked at his spirits very much at the time, but now he was glad he had it. Found it! He slid into the player, and music from arcane instruments began to play. She smiled, charmed at the sound. Would you? He began, hesitating. The land looked lovely, the colors in her robe simmering in the lights. Would you dance with me? Uncertain, she rose to her feet. I am not familiar with the human dances, so seem quite complex. She started, moving towards him. He moved to her and took her hand. I'll show you now. Here. She slowly put an arm around her waist. Delenn moved her arm to his waist, mirroring him. No, wait. Put your hand on my arm. Yes, like that. And I hold your hand like this. He gave her what he hoped was a reassuring smile. But having her that close to him made his breath a little quick. Okay. While I step forward, you take a step back. No, wait. The other foot, yes. Then we step to the side. Yeah. Then I step back and you forward. Then to the side again. Okay, now that's the basic box step. Wait for the next song to start. Now, wait for the music and just flow into it. The first notes of the Carol of the Bells started, and after a moment of clumsiness from gazing at her feet and getting them backward, Delenn found emotion. She smiled happily as they got into the hang of it. They stumbled a little as the sweeping music caught up, and laughed together. When the first song ended, they didn't move away from each other. They moved together into the next song, and the next. O Come Emmanuel went into a piccolo trumpet solo. They stopped, held in the spell of the beautiful notes. John noticed for the first time how closely they had drawn together while they were dancing. If he moved a hair's breadth forward, he would be able to feel her heartbeat, hear her breathe. All it would take was a step, and she would be in his embrace. Just a step, as he'd be close enough to the kiss. He took a step back, let his arms slip away from her as the last notes died away. Delenn looked at him, her eyes alight. Thank you, John. That was wonderful. John smiled at her. His hands ached to reach out and touch her hair. I'm glad you liked it. Would you like a drink? Is there something without alcohol? Yeah, I think so. John went to his desk, found 2 mugs and said silent thanks that they were both clean. He opened the mock cider and poured 2 cups, peeled the wrapping back for the cookies, and their spicy scent filled the office. Delenn sat in one of the chairs and took one of the cups and drank gratefully. John ate a couple of the cookies with pleasure. She took one and nibbled it slowly, savoring it. Glenn leaned forward and picked up something small and green. Uh-oh. John thought. She found no silly reindeer. Reaching over, she found something red in the greenery. Yep, there was another one. John grinned ruefully. She held him up with a soft sound of pleasure. Usual reaction. John grinned wider. They were two tiny wooden reindeer, one red and one green. They were small enough to fit in the palm of a hand. They were handmade, and even John had to admit they were mighty cute. His nephews had given them to him one Christmas, a few years ago, when they were instructed to give Uncle Johnny something small that he could take on the ship with him. The greatest charm of the year was that they were fit together like puzzle pieces. This always caused his nephews to scream, "Look, look, they're kissing!" And everyone else who saw it remarked how sweet it was. So, Sheridan made it a habit of keeping them as far apart as possible when he had them out. Dylan turned them over in her hands, clearly enchanted with them. After studying them for a moment, she put them together. Oh no, now I've got kissing deer in my office. That's what my nephews always say when you put them together, that they're kissing. She looked down, dancing with eyes. But we have no mistletoe for them. I'll have to get some for them then. John smiled at delivery. Maybe they're just fond of each other. Dylan set them down in the green room with care, still joined together. That way they won't get lost. She silently glanced at him. John's heart sped up. Good grief, John! You're stammering like a kid with a first crush in a minute. No, we can't let that happen. They need each other, he said softly. John, you could be a dork sometimes. That's why I love you. Suddenly, subconsciously, she touched the back of her head with one hand. John stifled a grin. She had done that before, that time in the garden. On Minba, she smiled out. Our holiday is called Smatha. It too is a celebration of light. The custom is that the spirits of Kalari walk through the night, going from home to home, and leave presents for the children. Novices from the temple will dress in pale robes and veil themselves to carry out the task. Her smile grew merrier. Sometimes, if a home has no children, a small surprise for the household pet will be given. Oh yeah? When I was a kid, if Santa didn't leave a present for my dog Bonky, I would have raised a roost. He smiled in memory. Sometimes Bonky's Christmas list was as long as his own. The elders of the house would bring out gifts to be added and given to those of service, telepaths, and people at the temple. They would bring warm drinks to those walking from home to home. Did you take part? John asked, fascinated. Oh yes, many times. It is very joyful to take part. She looked away for a moment. I think you may be missing your family, too. Reaching out, he laid his hand on hers. Yes. Shifting her hand, she placed her fingers around his. I haven't been home for a long time. I'd just like to take a break for this romantic interlude to say, who's thinking right now Londo is drinking it up down at the party is probably drunk off his rear? He held her hand quietly, listening to the music. The silence was comfortable. There was no need to force conversation. Finally, their heads slid apart, closed around their mugs. John refilled them and offered cookies again. She took another gracefully and ate it in small, careful bites. Dylan. He started and stopped. She met his eyes. Dylan, I want to tell you. His voice rolled out slowly, hesitant. How much your friendship has meant to me over the past year. Her lips parted as if to speak, but no sound came. They trembled and formed a small smile. I know how Miss Mombari feel about me. Hell, I couldn't even understand why. But you reached out to me. You were always good to me. Even when he stopped me in her soft eyes, it wasn't always visible. I know we might have had a long, hard road ahead of us, but I am proud to share it with you. Her eyes were very bright. She looked down suddenly. She closed her eyes for a moment and then looked back at him. I am honored to have you for my friend. Her hand closed over his again. Your kindness has been a greater gift to me than I can ever express. Thank you, John. John held her hand. Words were inadequate for the emotions running through him. Before he realized it, before he could stop it, he reached down with his other hand and touched her face. Her cheek was softer than his imagined. He ran his fingertips over it over slowly. His heartbeat sounded loud in his ears. He felt the change in her skin as he touched the edge of her crest. Her dark hair was unbelievably soft. It slid through his fingers like water. Delenn smiled at his fingertips and thrust that back down to her jaw before pulling away. His mouth opened to speak. The clock beat the hour. He glanced at Starlet. Darn you! It was past midnight. Long past. John stared at it, bewildered. Where had the time gone? It was so strange. As if he'd just gone there. But he couldn't really remember the evening before he found her. It was as if it had happened years before. As he followed his eyes and rose to his feet. I should go. I'll walk you back to the quarters. At the door, he offered her his arm. She took it. I can't thank you enough for letting me in, Mrs. Barra, Jefferson said, looking around the little shop. Call me Peggy. It wasn't a problem, Captain. I already was here, wrapping up some gifts of mine. The middle lady said, dropping her voice to a cordial whisper. You aren't the first one knocking this morning. That makes me feel a lot better, Sheridan grinned. You just look around and see if anything strikes you. Pickies are a bit slim, but you might find something nice. I'll be over doing my gift wrap. John walked around the little shop, hoping something would jump out of him. There were some crystal pieces, shuffled in untiny herds by last minute shoppers. They were pretty, but she had so many pieces already. He'd probably get her something she already had. Jewelry? Never seen her wearing. There were a couple of Napoleon pieces that shift colors in the light, so many of her robes. That might be worth considering. Peggy had been right. The regular Christmas shoppers hadn't left too much to choose from. John started to wonder if this was a bad idea. For all he knew, he might be violating some rule of etiquette somewhere. What if he found something she hated? Mother, his brain said. John stood still. Where did it come from? Then he realized he smelled lavender. His mother loved to smell lavender, and always carried bags of dried flowers whenever she traveled to be reminded of home. In the old house, he had strawberry houses growing by the doors, so she could touch the leaves when she passed it, and then out the door. The smell always brought a sense of calm to her. He searched for the source of the smell. They were small pillows, bolster-shaped, made of velvet. He turned it over in his hands. It wasn't shuffled with the tickling, but something else. Peggy? Yeah, Captain. What's this? That's a comfort pillow. They're wonderful. I actually ordered them in from Earth because I wanted one myself. They're not cheap because they have organic materials in them. I had to pay extra duty on them. The stuff with buckwheat hulls and dry lavender, so it's good support for your neck and the smell relaxes you. I left mine. The case is velvet and it unbuttons here so you can take it off to wash it. Would someone who meditates a lot like it? I'm sure. People who meditate often need a lot of cushions. But listen, if they don't like it, they'll bring it back. That's no problem. He handed her his credit chit. Can I get a bow? John turned the cover to the green sector too fast and ran smack into something. He dropped his package and reached out with both hands to study whoever he hit. Then he realized he had hit Delenn with his arms. Captain, she started. Delenn, he gasped out. I was looking for you. They said simultaneously, then laughed. I'm sorry, Delenn. I wasn't looking where I was going. Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. You dropped something. Oh, can't lose that. John bent up and scooped the pillow over. His fingers played with the bow nervously. Finally, he held it just out for her. Merry Christmas, Delenn. I got this for you.